Hello, 6th and 7th grade. Welcome back. So, today or this week, we're going to go over the society in the Roman Republic. So, let's get started. So, here are your I can statements. So, I can describe the roles that men and women held in Roman society. 2, understand how life differed for different classes of Romans. And lastly, 3, explain how religion and citizenship were connected to Romans' lives. So, Roman men and women, Rome was actually part of a patriarchal society, which means that men ruled their families and that people trace their origins through male ancestors. So they would go back from generation to generation to generation to find where they really came from. That's like going and trying to figure out where you came from. What state your family first started to live in, or what country that your family is from. So that's what Roman people would do. So pater families, they were actually the head of the household. They had all the power over his wife, children, slaves, and underage siblings. He could sell his children into slavery, not cool. He owned all of the family's property, and he would honor his ancestors and continuing the family through his sons. So they obviously were head of the household. It's kind of the same thing, like, if you have a dad at home, they're the head of the household. But then there's this really weird thing of having all the power, absolute power over wife, children, slaves, and underage families. This is kind of different than, what we know today, right? Where even though, your dad may be the head of the household, he may not have all the power, meaning he's almost like a dictator over your family. That's kind of crossing the line in our society. And then not a cool thing is, selling your children into slavery is not very friendly as a dad, right? Selling your kids to slavery doesn't sound very cool. So, women in Rome. So, women had a little bit more rights than those that were in Greece. So, they could own property. They were able to go to parties, enjoy theater, and participate in religious rituals. They could make wills, divorce their husbands, and go out in public. And then rich wives and mothers could influence public decisions. So women are able to do more social things, even more a little bit more political things. So you can kind of infer that women in Rome had more rights than women in ancient Greece. So the rich Romans. So most Romans were poor, free people, or people who were slaves. There was a tiny minority that were rich in Rome, but the rich majority was very small, or population. The rich earned their money through agriculture, so like planting goods and crops. They lived in 1 or 2 story houses as large as a city block. So these are massive houses. They had courtyards, gardens, private baths, beautiful decorations, and even running water. So having running water in your house was a prime luxury in ancient Rome. And some owned villas, which are large country homes. So we're talking houses, right? The regular house, biggest city blocks, and then like villas, much bigger. So here is a depiction of what ancient Roman villas or houses look like at that time. So you can see they were massive. They had really cool gardens here, lush gardening, very large courtyard, entryway. I mean, this is a massive estate, right? And then this is once again another depiction of what the villa looked like. As you see statues and then also these private baths or waters right here. All right. So the common people. So common people lived in cramped apartments without running water. They had lots of crime, disease, and fire were serious dangers. And the most tenant farmers who rented land were from wealthy landlords. All right, so they would rent land, rent property from wealthy landlords to plant their own little farms to make their own money. All right. In slavery. So slaves had no rights. They were bought and sold as property. They were beaten or killed by their masters for any reason. All right. Children were born to slaves were also slaves. They worked in mines or on large farms. Some worked in homes performing housework. And if they served loyally, they could be free from slavery and they could vote. So it's kind of different from like United States slavery way back when, because, you know, if slaves served, if they're loyal, they could be freed, become citizens, they could vote. That was really not the thing in the United States back in the 17 to 1800s, all right? That was not a thing where you could be freed and then could vote. You kind of had to, that laws had to be passed to get to that point. But in ancient Rome, you could work towards that. And here is the social pyramid. So as you can see, the low first section were enslaved people. So you can see that include farm workers, miners, servants, and tutors. So tutors are people that would tutor or help their kids with their work, schoolwork. In the midsection, the middle class were poor citizens. So they were that include tenant farmers, day laborers, and shopkeepers. And at the very top of the pyramid were wealthy citizens. So that included office holders, rich business leaders, and landowners. This is all part of the social pyramid of Rome. So Roman religion, so they were more polytheistic. So we all know they worshipped many gods. So they worshipped more than one god. That were adopted from Greeks and Etruscans. Their established religion was an official religion supported by a government. So government officials served as priests. And then Rome was also home of thousands of Jews, and Judaism was recognized as the official religion of Julius Caesar. And then as we get much farther into when Rome goes from a republic to an empire, we will see that Rome kind of transitions over to what? Christianity. We know Christianity is monotheistic, which means they believe in what? One God. So that concludes about society life in the Roman Republic. I hope this helps you understand what everyday life was all about. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me and I'll be happy to assist you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.